First speaker tonight, Kari is a 22-year teacher. She taught English and a gifted program coordinator, nationally certified time to teach trainer in classroom management. With her speech titled Manage Behavior with Care, Teacher Tips. Please welcome Kari tonight.
Does anyone agree with me when I say that students are different these days than they were when I started 22 years ago or 32 years ago?
Your hair.
And kids are all different from each other too. You know, we've got a master teacher here, and I think you can say some are similar to how they used to be, just as good as gold, and some, yeah, we've seen some crumbling of our societal norms in our kids. I have become a nationally certified time to teach trainer, and that's why I joined Toastmasters, was to get better at speaking. I know the material, I've taught long enough, I know classroom management, it's something I felt I was good at. But I want to tell you a little bit about time to teach today. Kids have changed. Back in the day, it used to be, oh, here is the note home. Your son or daughter was chewing gum in class today. Or your son or daughter left their homework at home today. You know, you could get in trouble. I had a kid in the middle of my English lesson dump all his books on the floor, and when that didn't get me too riled, dumped his desk on the floor. It used to be maybe that the student got in trouble for talking a little too much in class or taking Susie's hat off. I had a boy stand up in the middle of class, open the window, and yell, "Hey, pig!" when a policeman drove by. So kids have changed a little bit, and we need to be really excellent at managing classroom behavior, but with care, so that we are not just dictators. Time to teach has many philosophies or main points, but I'm going to narrow it down to 3 today. The first one is, you have to teach them what to do. They don't all come knowing how to behave in a classroom setting. A lot of this is taken from John Wooden. Raise your hand if you're familiar with John Wooden. I am not a sports person, but I admire what he did, which was, with his basketball players, evidently they won, what is it, like 10 national championships in a row or something? I don't know. He went back to basics. These were kids that probably played AAU basketball since they were little. And they get into him in college because they're already good. And he said, okay, before we pick up any basketballs, let me show you how to put on your socks. Okay? The best way, everybody, the best way to put on your socks is so that that little fold where it's stitched together is so it's right at your toes so you don't get calluses. And the best way to line up, and the best way to, when we're on a timeout, where your eyes should be. Very, very, very basic, back to basics. Wasted a lot of time on it. But it must have worked out because they won 10 national championships in a row. I'm pretty sure that's the stat, 13 overall. So a lot of it is, we have to teach too what we want the kids to do. You can't just assume they know not to run in the halls. You'll need to teach them that. You can't just assume they know how to raise their hand. You might have to teach them that. For example, this is how I want you to raise your hand, not like, "Have I got the right answer?" or even this, because I might not see it. So you teach too the behaviors that you want from your students. And you waste a lot of time at it, but the teachers who follow it believe that they get about 2 months at the end of the year that they never had to fill with curriculum before, because they can get to that material now. The second main point, and this is maybe my favorite, is UPR, unconditional positive regard. This is like unconditional love, but that might be a little too smarmy in a workplace. And face it, you know as a teacher, you don't necessarily love every kid that comes your way into your classroom, but it is your job to demonstrate positive regard to them unconditionally. And we are not paid to lose our cool. We are not paid to prefer one child over another. We are paid to show unconditional positive regard to all kids, and that's instrumental. We want to give kids the time of day, meaning acknowledge them as a human being, make eye contact with each kid. Both contingent and non-contingent interactions. So a contingent interaction might be, Jack, I am really impressed with how well you did on that quiz that I gave Friday. You improved so much. Fabulous. That's contingent upon what he did. But a non-contingent might be, Bobby, what did you do this weekend? Did you do some more of that hobby that I don't know what you did? Did you play some soccer this weekend? Or how's that puppy dog of yours doing? Are you getting their potty trained? Those non-contingent interactions that say, you don't only have to perform for me. I value you as a human being. So that's important in building relationships. And you can ask about more kids when they know you actually care about them. That's a Madeline Hunter quote, famous guru that I'm sure Lloyd knows. Kids don't know how much, won't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So that's got to be part of it. And the third main point that I'll bring up is something they call refocus. This is a little bit like if you know PBIS, positive behavioral interventions. It's a time for the kids to reflect. If they go wrong, we want to handle that, but we want to help them process where they went wrong. So there's some simple questions. What did I do wrong? Well, I was tapping my fingers while the teacher was talking. What did I want? So they're having to reflect. Well, I don't know what I wanted. I was just bored. Oh, okay. I wanted to amuse myself. That's a valid thing. What will I do next time? Well, next time I find myself doing it, maybe I'll sit on my hands. Or I'll amuse myself by trying to actually learn the material. And the last question, are you ready to come back and rejoin the group? So at elementary, middle school, high school, these questions will have different levels of sophistication, but it is firm, clear, very predictable, 100% predictable boundaries that ask the kids to just take a little moment, reconnect with what they should be doing, and come back and rejoin the group. If your group is a positive experience, they'll want to rejoin it. When I taught middle school, one of the teachers said to me, well, you got to know one thing about middle school kids. When they hit the door the first day, they're thinking, are you going to bring the fun or should I? So I always wanted to be the one to bring the fun. And if your classroom is an enjoyable place to be, the kids will want to be there and they will want to cooperate with you. And if you show them you care about them, they will return that to you. In conclusion, test scores go up when it's time to teach, and any behavioral system that values human beings and has clear boundaries, but this is one of them. And I'm proud to be affiliated with it. And I wanted to pass out my business cards and in case you can help me with that. Thank you very much.